Hello everybody, I'm Tomáš Etmánek and this is a story of how we sail a Viking ship from Normandy to London. The Viking ship in question is Saga Farmann, a replica of a Scandinavian trading ship that sank in Norway in the 10th century. I met Saga Farmann in Istanbul in 2023 and I ended up taking care of her through the winter while she was docked in the Haliç shipyard. And of course, later I joined the expedition and we sailed through the Aegean Sea. This year, in 2025, the journey started in Rome. We sailed north all the way to Marseille and then up by the canals and the rivers of France to Paris. After reaching Paris, we sailed down by the Seine to Normandy. This is where me and Nevin, joined the journey. I was especially looking forward to this stage because of the challenge of crossing the English Channel and of course sailing up the Thames to London. Not everything went as planned. We met many challenges, but in the end we made it. I hope you enjoy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Very.
Well, we look good for 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm not so sure.
I feel rested.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We are in Lover and we need to go to Honfleur. There's very little left.
Good morning. Good morning. The sleeping bags are completely wet.
After a short breakfast, we got to business. First thing was to stock Saga Farmann with the necessary supplies for the journey. Second was the correct rudder. In one of the previous stages, Saga Farmann hit an underwater rock and damaged its steering oar. New one arrived from Norway and it was essential to change it before we got underway. With the repairs done, we made our way to the Lamora Museum, where among other things, the replica of William the Conqueror's flagship, Lamora, is being built. We couldn't miss that. In the meantime, the crew is arriving at the ship. Here is Jan and Tomáš, the 2/3 of our Czech crew. Last night, we got bad news from Honfleur's harbour master. If we wanted to leave, we had to do it this morning, otherwise the tide would be so low that our ship wouldn't be able to exit the lock, which meant we had to motor because there was no time to hoist the mast. So after the breakfast, we quickly did one more market run to pick up an extra supply of water and food necessary for the crossing to Ouistreham. We stowed everything neatly under the deck and then we started the safety briefing.
Shout, man overboard, and points. You do not stop pointing at him. Everybody points at the same person.
After the safety briefing, we each chose a life jacket, which would be ours for the rest of the journey. Then we cast off the mooring lines and got underway. By the afternoon, we arrived at the port of Ouistreham. We were tired, but also excited to be finally on the way. One thing we didn't know was that we would be staying here for some time. After the traditional ankedram, this time in a form of incredible Norman beer provided by Mr. Bernard Terrain, the director of Historic Park Ornavik, we started hoisting the mast. Stepping the mast starts off simply enough. We clear all running and standing rigging to avoid snags, then rig a temporary line to the forestay and lead it to the winch. This is when the real work begins, sweating up the mast, guiding it into place, and carefully seating it on the mast step while keeping everything balanced. Easier said than done, of course. Once the mast is stepped, the final tasks are to resecure the forestay and set up proper tension on the shrouds to ensure the rig is sound. We woke up ready to continue the journey, but our captain delivered bad news. The weather forecast had changed, and not in our favor. The weather system was bearing down from the north, funneling straight through the English Channel, precisely from the opposite direction we needed. With wind over tide, conditions would be rough, and there was a real risk of being set too far west, out toward the open Atlantic. As a result, we had to abandon our plan to sail to Cherbourg and then cross to the Isle of Wight. Instead, we decided to cross the loch and take shelter in the marina at Ouistreham, where we would wait for a suitable weather window to make the channel crossing. As you might expect, it's impossible to be idle on a ship. There is always something that needs fixing or mending, improvements to be made, and of course, the never-ending supply runs. But the northerly wind kept blowing. Days were passing by, and in the end, all we could do was wait. Still, the situation wasn't without its advantages. We took the opportunity to visit the beautiful historic park of Ornavik, just a short distance away, and one afternoon we even caught a train to Bayeux to see the world-famous Bayeux tapestry. After several days of waiting on weather, the gods finally favored us. We cleared French customs and had our passports stamped on Thursday morning, and by the evening we passed the Ouistreham lock. Once through, we tied up in the outer harbour to await our window. Departure was set for 0200 hours Friday morning. The plan was to motor through a belt of high pressure in the early hours, aiming to break through to the southwesterlies lying beyond. Once we reached the wind, we would hoist sail and ride it through the day, making good way under canvas. By nightfall, when the breeze was forecast to ease, we hoped to be nearing the lights of Brighton on the horizon. The best people do nothing in the moments of crisis.
Yeah, I'm the best of the best because even in normal, I never do nothing. I'm on, let's go.
What a strange feeling it is to stand on the deck of a ship bound for open sea on a cloudy, moonless night. A few stars pierce the overcast skies, flickering dimly above. Here and there, a buoy winked its signal through the dark, while to the north and east, the coastal cities cast their false dawn. A dull glow on the horizon where no sun would rise. We were slipping into the sea's original darkness, carried by a small hull of tarred timber, held fast by iron nails and the will of 13 beating hearts aboard.
Uykum açılsın diye şarkı söylüyorum.
During the crossing, the crew was divided into 3 watches: on duty, standby, and off duty. After sunrise, the standby watch prepared breakfast. Once the galley was cleaned and the dishes stowed, the off-duty crew had a chance to rest, catch up on lost sleep, or simply enjoy the serenity and vastness of the open sea. Meanwhile, we continued our northward course, still beating into the wind. The engines provided steady assistance to our dinghy, which served as a tender, pushing us onward. Also, it was time to strike the French courtesy flag and hoist the Union flag as we approached new waters. And finally, with conditions settled, we raised sail and let the wind take hold. With the sun setting, the wind gradually died down, so we struck the sails, powered up the engines, and switched on the navigation lights. In the dimming twilight, a flicker appeared on the horizon ahead. Our destination, Brighton. By now, we were worn out and tired, yet one final stretch lay before us, along with the tension of entering an unfamiliar harbour in the dark. Without the stabilizing pull of the sails, the heavy swell tossed our vessel about, forcing us to tighten the shrouds, which had loosened after the long passage, to stop the mast from wild swinging. In complete darkness, we finally slipped into the sheltered waters of Brighton Marina and secured the boat alongside. We had made it. By then, exhaustion had fully set in. All I wanted was a dram of something strong and a pillow to collapse into. And that's exactly what I did, which is why there is no footage of any of it, actually. Saga Farmann crossed the English Channel. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment below. Please let me know what you think. Also, stay tuned for the second part of our adventure, where we sail a Viking ship up the Thames all the way to London. You wouldn't like to miss that. Until then, take care, and I'll see you next time.